Hi everybody, this is my policy and advocacy exploration project. I chose to research building a national childhood education system that works. Um, so what does this policy mean? This policy is used to make sure that children aged from birth to 5 years old are getting the correct education to achieve their developmental milestones at this crucial time in their lives. This policy also is used to help teachers to better educate their students. This policy can also go further into elementary school years, middle school years, and high school years, possibly even college years. And I chose this policy because I have a couple of years working in early childhood education settings, and every place does different things or different policies. And I was curious to see the data and information from these policy compared to the policies at the centers I have worked at before or the one I'm currently working in. A little background information. Despite widespread public support for ECE programs, the United States has for many years lacked a clear vision for how we as a nation will support children birth through age 5, to what extent this is a public or private responsibility. As we build back our national capacity, however, we must also plan for the future. When building an early learning infrastructure, we must address the four systemic challenges. Those include many families have lack of access to ECE programs. The quality is variable and insufficient across programs all over the United States. Educator qualifications or requirements are inconsistent, and the workforce is underpaid. Governments have taken an incoherent approach to federal and state administration of ECE programming. And I thought that was very interesting. But we are changing over time. There are so many programs and proposals that I have found during this research project that the government is putting into place to help children, their families, as well as educators around the United States. One initiative is called the Build Program. And this works to support those efforts by highlighting promising models of quality improvements, facilitating peer exchanges, and helping leaders from different sectors think together about how to develop and sustain high quality early learning, especially in the communities that have historically not the best results. There are some different proposals that I have found during my research that are in effect and is changing the ECE programs today. One is establish a free universal mixed delivery birth to 5 system. This includes ensure consistent funding, create good jobs in ECE, support organizing efforts of early educators, guarantee the right to early education, establish and early childhood innovation fund. Number 2 is create an inclusive and equitable birth to 5 system. This is supporting inclusive environments in the ECE programs. And lastly, is to facilitate a cohesive American education system starting with ECE, because this is the most crucial time in a child's life to be learning and getting a great education. So my advocacy plan is calling out to all the caregivers. That includes teachers and parents of children aged from birth to 5 years old. My research plan will include some form of diagram to show comparisons between systems that work and maybe do not work, with extra notes describing the data. I have investigated multiple forms of research from the ASU library and focus on reviewing the overview and learning materials that we have covered this semester. I plan to use also my personal experiences in the classroom to include in my research plan. I have experienced both good and bad policies, I personally feel like, so I think that would be a good thing to add in there. Also, there are a few teachers I could interview that I know also have strong opinions on this topic, and I think it would really help to gather more information. And that is my plan for the research part of this assignment. I think that this project and research that I've done has been very enlightening and it increased my understanding that the system is not perfect and that it's the government is finding ways to make improvements every day. And that is it. Thank you.